All right, Padres fans, just another day of waiting for a free agent signing to happen for the Padres, or really just waiting for free agent signings or trades to happen around Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays, they signed, I believe, Yariel Rodriguez. There are free agent signings that are happening. The Yankees, they signed Marcus Stroman recently. The Giants, obviously, with the trade that they had, was it last week, couple weeks ago, involving Robbie Ray, and then they signed Jordan Hicks, who's a reliever, but then they're trying to make him a starter. There's some interesting things going on, but look at how many names are still out on the free agent market. This is not all of them. This is some of them. I think Ken Rosenthal said the other day there was like 175 free agents left on the market. So I would not panic if I'm a Padres fan. I obviously am a Padres fan. I'm not panicking right now because I see how many names are still out there. It's not like all of the other teams in baseball are making a bunch of moves and the Padres are sitting there not doing anything. And we know that AJ Preller is waiting for the market to come down to the Padres level. Like, he has pretty much said that publicly. I think it was to the Union Tribune last month, saying that he was going to wait till January. Now it's January 17th, but the market has essentially stayed the same. There hasn't been a lot of moves. You got the big Boars four that are still out there with Bellinger and Snell and Chapman and Montgomery. Chapman's not on this list because he's not a fit for the Padres. Padres obviously have a third baseman with someone named Manny Machado, if you didn't know. So here on this list from Spot Track, I looked up free agents that are available, and there's some outfielders, first base, starters that are out there. Let me know in the comments, what combination of guys do you want the Padres to sign? They probably have $20 to $25 million of room before they get to that CBT 237 threshold, that CBT threshold there. And they don't want to go over that because they want to reset so that if they do go over it, let's say in 2025, their penalties are reset. You know, they don't have to have a fifth straight year of going over or whatever. And it's more draft picks, it's more money, it's a much bigger penalty. And I don't think that all the moves that they're going to make are going to be in free agency. Again, with the limited budget, I think that trades are going to have to happen. Maybe not trades, but a trade. Whether it's one trade, two trades, maybe it's one trade that involves like six players and the Padres can hammer out a couple of their needs in one deal. Maybe it's a three-team trade where the Padres can hammer out a couple of their needs and they trade prospects, guys to a couple different teams. Maybe Ha-Sung Kim ends up getting dealt for pitching or for outfield or for one of the needs here. Obviously, the big needs, they need a left fielder, they need a center fielder because we think Tatis is going to be in right. And no disrespect to Jose Zokar, but I don't want him playing center field every day for this Padres team. First base, Cronenworth, we know that his value is not anywhere near what it is at second base. And he keeps declining offensively, and no one's going to move the contract. So, this leads to the Ha-Sung Kim discussion, obviously, where maybe it makes sense to deal Kim. If you get the right package back, you can move Cronenworth back to second base, where he's most valuable, most comfortable, probably, has a bounce back year. You can fill some other holes. Kim's not going to come back here long term. You have Merrill coming up. You have Bogarts. You have guys that can play the middle infield if needed. And yeah, the Padres, you're trying to contend in 2024, no doubt about that. And Ha-Sung Kim was one of the best Padres players offensively and defensively, obviously, for the Padres in 2023. But you can still win without Ha-Sung Kim. Now, it might be more difficult, but you can still do it, and you'd be selling him at his highest value. Like, there's no doubt about that. He keeps going up. He's trending in the right direction. If you want him on your team, if you want to trade him, he's in the right direction. Like, he keeps getting better. He had a career year last year. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, some of these free agents, Snell, we're not getting him. Montgomery, not getting him. Woodruff, I want someone that's going to pitch in 2024, and Woodruff is hurt. That would be more of a 2025 thing. So I don't think that he fits. Hyun-Jin Ryu, he might not have that much of a market. So the Padres might be able to get him on a one-year deal. If they do sign these guys, I would think that most of them would be one-year contracts. I don't know if they're going to go multiple years on very many guys in free agency here. Alex Wood, is that going to be 7-8 mil? How long will he take? Clevenger, I think that might be out of the Padres' price range. Cueto, Odorizzi, Keller, Kluber, Paxton, those guys have injury questions, but there's some upside there with James Paxton. Michael Lorenzen can kind of be your Nick Martinez, start, relieve. So we'll see where he lands if the Padres end up getting him. Eric Lauer, I don't see that happening. I think he's had some past comments about the Padres, and so I just don't really see that. And he didn't have that good of a year. Now maybe the Padres think that Ruben Niebla can fix him, but you got to have both sides want the relationship to happen. And I don't know if Eric Lauer wants that. Danny Duffy, Dallas Keuchel. I mean, that could be an invite to spring training type thing there. Syndergaard, Sheffield. Sheffield is upside. That's kind of like Luis Patino. I think I said that a couple weeks ago when the Padres got Patino, where hyped prospect, but he has not been able to live up to that at the big league level. First base, Brandon Belt, if his market goes down, I mean, this is a guy that had a above average OPS plus, hit almost 20 home runs this past year with the Blue Jays, left-handed bat, experience on the brightest stage multiple times. Reese Hoskins, I think that's out of the Padres price range. Joey Votto, I would not rule that out. Left-handed bat, doesn't have to play every day. Him being in that clubhouse, I think he wants to be on a contender. And so how many teams fit Joey Votto? Like how many teams are looking for a left-handed bat on the bench, which I think is kind of what Votto would do. Maybe you could DH him a little bit when everyone is healthy. And I think the Padres do fit that. Like they need to fill out the bench. It's not just get a first baseman, outfield, starting pitching, but the bench is not good right now, right? Carlos Santana is still out there. Garrett Cooper, but he's a righty. If you want that return, I don't think it's the worst, but it is a righty, not a lefty. Gurriel's a righty, I believe. Hunter Dozier, eh. Outfielders, Bellinger, that's not happening. Peterson, I don't think that's going to happen. Pollock, that's a righty. I don't think that's happening. Soler, I don't think that's happening either. Gallo, I can't rule that out because it's AJ Preller, and I just think that one of these years it feels like Gallo's going to end up being a Padre, and he does have power. There's a lot of strikeout, but there's power there. Grichuk, Rosario, I think, is realistic. Left-handed bat, I don't think that's going to cost you many years, much money. Winker, I think that could be like a minor league invite type deal, or Adam Engel, where it's a 1 year, very cheap, team-friendly contract. There's David Peralta, Tommy Pham. I would not be disappointed if the Padres brought Tommy Pham in. I know he's a righty, but I want urgency. I want guys that are going to work their butt off and really want to win. And Tommy fits that. He played under Mike Schilt. David Peralta, a lefty, NL West experience. Aaron Hicks, switch hitter. Now, this could be a Matt Carpenter thing where you're weighing too much what he did with the Baltimore Orioles, but he's out there. Austin Meadows, Michael A. Taylor. He's a righty, though. And how much money is he going to cost if Harrison Bader and Kevin Kiermaier cost over $10 million on a 1 year deal? There's Kevin Pillar, where I think that could be like a last resort. Like, okay, he plays in the big leagues, obviously. He can play center field. He's not going to give you anything offensively. He's a right-handed hitter, not a left-handed hitter. But if Marcy's not ready to go and you need a center fielder and there's like literally no one left, I guess you could go the Kevin Pillar route. There's guys like Jankowski out there. Kyle Lewis would probably be a minor league deal, spring training invite. There's Jackie Bradley Jr., Cole Calhoun, Clint Frazier. He was another one where he was a hype prospect and has not lived up. I mean, he's had moments in the big leagues, but he did not live up to that with the New York Yankees. Raimel Tapia, I think he played with Profar and Tatis in the Dominican Winter League. There's Corey Dickerson. Profar, I could put on this list as well, but he's more of a bench guy. So yeah, give me your thoughts. What combination would you like here? I mean, if you want 1, 2 starters in free agency, well, you're probably gonna have to go the cheaper route. Maybe you go with Dallas Keuchel and see what he can give you, and then you go the Alex Wood route maybe as another starter. I'm just looking on this list, and then maybe bring in Brandon Belt for first base. Outfield, go Eddie Rosario and David Peralta. You go Jesse Winker, minor league invite. I don't know what Michael A. Taylor, what that's going to end up looking like, that deal. But maybe you go Aaron Hicks and you can stick him in center field. Or you sign Kevin Pillar if you need him to play center field because you don't have another center fielder on the roster and you'd rather have him over Azokar. If you sign Pillar, maybe you would rather just have a Zokar and you're signing Pilar just to be a body and I guess compete in spring training for a spot. And if he plays better, then you give it to him over Zokar. But let me know. I think a trade, at least one trade, is going to happen here.